Welcome, everyone, to the Tethys Shipyards. I am Takeshi Yamato, the Yardmaster, joining our host, the Housecoat Gamer.
Yo.
For our next hero ship on the list, we are doing the USS Queen Victoria.
The last of the nebulas. And we literally mean the last nebula, as this is the last nebula-class starship ever built. Commissioned
Indeed.
during the waning days of the Dominion War, Starfleet Command and the Advanced Starship Design Bureau decided, rather obviously, that the Century Cruiser program, which resulted in ships such as the New Orleans, the Galaxy, and obviously the Nebula, was a tad bit too optimistic. Wolf 359 kind of put pay to almost every single one of these ships. While the Nebula and Galaxy would continue to be useful, it was quickly decided that in light of the stunning success of the Sovereign class, that the Galaxy would be replaced by the Ross class.
Yeah.
However, the experimental Andromeda program was running into issues, so they decided to repeat history and produce a smaller scale starship type. That starship class, of course, being stupid bloody thing. Here it is. The Sutherland. But how to test some of the advanced technologies going to be incorporated into the Sutherland before the ship was ready? The answer was simple. The last nebula. As the Queen Victoria was mostly gutted of all equipment, she wasn't finished until after the Dominion War, it was decided to fit in all the experimental goodies into the Queen Victoria and begin testing. As such, she is the last nebula that is still in service with the Federation Starfleet. She even assisted in evacuation efforts during the Martian kerfuffle, thanks to the Zatvash, Telshar bastards.
Yeah.
And was just a bit too late to participate in the Frontier Day disaster. Mostly due to the fact that her crew had, disembarked for celebrations. She was hurriedly brought back into service, but by the time it was all done, the Enterprise D, her distant cousin, had already blown up the cube. And the Titan A, which would soon be renamed Enterprise G, get over it, had already done most of the work to save Earth. So the last nebula has not had a very, very storied career outside of being just a technology testbed. But her day could come. After all, she is the last nebula. And if there's anything history should teach us, it's that the nebula class should not be underestimated.
Nope. Yep. For stats, as said, we gave this thing a launch date of 2378, but we're starting this thing as of 2388. So we gave this thing, let's see, 9, 9, 21, 31, 41, 50. Let's see, 27, 30, 37, 47, 59 points to work with. And we set that up as comms 9, computers, 57 plus mission pod. We gave this thing a warp propulsion pod. Overall, it's comms 9, computers 10, engines 12, sensors 9, structure 10, weapons 9. Department wise, it has Command 1, Con 3, Security 2, Engineering 5, Science 2, Medicine 2. It uses the technical testbed mission profile because, well, that's what it is. Its weapons are the standard phaser arrays and photon torpedoes. And it has a strength 4 tractor beam as usual. For talents, it has advanced shields, high resolution sensors, improved hull integrity, improved warp drive, and secondary reactors. Normally, normally a Nebula class would come with starship separation, but we decided no.
What the hell were they even thinking? Where are the impulse engines? This is like the same goddamn excuse people keep saying, oh, the Sovereign can separate. Where's the impulse engines? Where are the secondary impulse engines for the star drive? Go on. Point them out. Show me where they are. Don't just quote John Eves. Eves' little concept art with the saucer of the Enterprise E separated. Finished model. Where are they? Where are they?
Yeah.
Either show me where they are, or stop saying it can do it.
Yeah. So, yeah. We are just saying this right now. If you make a Nebula class starship, if we make any Nebula class starship, we're getting rid of saucer separation and just considering it a blank slate aside from mission pod talents.
Because the whole thing pisses me off. It has to make some form of sense. If there is no impulse engines on the star drive or the saucer section, it cannot separate its saucer section unless it uses explosive bolts, in which case that is not saucer separation.
Yeah. And they even have special rules in Utopia Planitia for the Constitution and the Excelsior class for that kind of thing. Jettison the saucer. Okay, so before we got interrupted, I was talking about derived stats. It's a scale 5 starship, and improved hull integrity means its resilience is 6, 5 plus 1. Its power is the engine's value plus secondary reactors, so a total of 17, meaning this thing has a lot of power for all its experimental tech. And it can also take a bit of a beating because shields are structure 10 plus security 2 for 12. Advanced shields adds an extra 5 for 17 shields. And for descriptor traits, Federation Starship, Warp Propulsion Pod, the last nebula.
Because she is indeed the last nebula.
As of 2401, she is still in service. It's some 12 years after we established some 13 years after our profile statting. As of 2402, she's still in service. Whether she will remain in service until 2409 or beyond, or whether she will be upgraded to Sutherland spec or whatever. Who knows? All we know is she might even. Yeah.
Does I'm sorry, there's no fixing this. It's kind of like the whole STD argument.
Right, fair enough. The designs are just too different. So, by 2409, this thing might end up in the Fleet Museum. But it still has a place in Starfleet history as a stepping stone to the Sutherland.
Bye bye.